What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Automation. So I was not originally going to make this car, and I'm also kind of assuming you read the title and have a vague idea of what I'm making today. But I thought about it and decided I want to do it because I think that we can do a better job than the first one. So originally my plan was to make a car for Roma this season that was really going to try and, do things like refinement or functionality. But rather than that, I think I'm just gonna double down on what I did last time. So more horsepower, more danger, and more car, I guess. So the original Fatale had 2,141 horsepower, and it weighed less than that. Now I'm gonna put less attention to weight this time because I'm gonna try and actually make this thing handle. But we're gonna go with this body because it's weird, and it supports all the different engine variants that I want, and hopefully a big engine as well. Alright, so we're going to do carbon fiber, semi-space frame. I don't know what exactly the space is going to be. I assume that mid-engine is going to have the smallest displacement, but I'm going to push for that at the moment. I think we'll go with double wishbone in the front, and, I could do another double-double, but I'm kind of tempted to throw a McPherson in the back. No, we'll do a double-double. Also, I'm thinking that we're going to probably give this thing a bit more quality than we're used to here. Okay, let's see what kind of engine we can put in here. We could get away with an 8.7 liter V12, and we could still get all-wheel drive out of that if that's something I wanted. I don't know if I'm gonna want to go with all-wheel drive because that's weight, but at the same time I'm more concerned about drivability right now, and maybe that'll help. Actually, it for sure will help. Okay, well then for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that this is how we're gonna keep it going. So let's go with the lightest possible everything with the highest RPM. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this stuff for now. Are we gonna have space in there for a turbo? I mean, that should mostly be height, and right now we're full on length, but that is pretty full in there. So it fits, but it's just really, really tight. Okay, so we're at about 270 horsepower with absolutely no tuning, no compression, and the turbo has not even been touched. So I'd say we're in a pretty decent spot. Let's see what we can get out of the engine. 320 is where we're at. Let's go ahead and shoot this compressor way up. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. So we're shooting for a bit over 2,000 horsepower. And that's if we want to beat the numbers from last time. This could be a bit tricky just because it's coming out of a lower displacement V12 instead of a higher displacement V16. Actually, I think it's a lower displacement. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly what the displacement is in the Fatale. What I do know is that we're definitely getting some numbers out of here, and we haven't even added compression back in. Okay, so we're just maxing out everything then. That's pretty much what's going on here, and I will address all of the warnings I'm inevitably getting about how this is going to kill the car. Okay, 1359. Okay, we can get it up to, where are we? How high can we get this up to? Okay, 1479. That's where we're at. And how is these things doing? The compressor wants to die, and I don't really blame it. Well, that being said, there's really not a whole lot more I can do for the compressor. If anything, it's just gonna get worse for it if I try and make it smaller. Can we get any more out of this turbo? 39, 40. Nope, that's all we're getting out of the turbo. In that case, let's see what we can get out of the cam profile here. 1648, and knocking up the compression. Looks like 1841. So we're still just about 300 horsepower shy of the original Fatale. And frankly, I'm not entirely sure how to get there. We can shoot this quality up a little more in a couple places, but that's only going to count for a little bit of power, not a whole ton. Now we're just shy of 2K. Now I'm pretty sure we have just about the highest quality everything. But ooh, with that exhaust, we can really get some more out of here. 2118, and now we can probably raise, let's see, what can we do with the turbine? Not much. That's pretty much where it needs to be. Max boost, pretty much where it's gonna be. Fuel system, little more can come out of that. Not a whole lot. Nor should it. And now that we raise that RPM limits, now we're sitting at about 2,229. So I think that we are officially past the Fatale. All right, let's hear it. That compressor's making me nervous, but I don't really want to try and fix that. It sounds like, you know, when you hit just about 4,500 RPM, it's like it just turns on a hairdryer. I really wish we could fix that compressor, but I don't think we can fix that compressor without sacrificing performance, and I really don't want to do that. So we're just going to call this, and I think that it shouldn't cause any problems in Beam. I think it'll be fine. This screams BMW, but it's not going to be a BMW today. All right, you know what? Aerodynamics. What can I do here? Okay, that's not good. You know, that actually looks quite a bit more normal, actually. Why did I pick this body again? Thing is, I want a modern-looking car. Now, it can be a little more dated. You know, I could go with this one instead. I didn't really want the hatchback look, but the front of that one makes so much more sense. I also gotta make sure that the engine will actually fit in whatever car we pick. And preferably, I'd also like it to look, you know, moderately sporty. I thought about this one as an alternative. And that does, admittedly, this one does look a little more Roma. Doesn't fit at all. Okay, different body. How did we fit this in the Fatale last time? It seems like nothing can fit this. I mean, we could make the Fatale a luxury sedan. Oh, that's an awful idea. But this actually looks like it might fit it. Let's find out. Hold on. I mean, it appears to be fitting. How is it fitting? It's fitting wonderfully. Okay, we could have a higher displacement engine out of this guy. In fact, we could probably get away with. I mean, this is a 10.3 liter V12. I think this is sufficient. Okay, let's see. We can definitely push it a little harder now. This thing is gonna be an absolute beast, my god. Alright, I think this makes more sense. This will look a lot better as well. And now I can base it a little more accurately off of the actual Fatale, which is nice. Alright, so on to the grille. I want to keep this sort of similar, but maybe a bit updated compared to the last Fatale. And I want this to be a lot more dangerous, but I think we've already checked that box. Alright, so the next thing we're going to need is a good vent. A good vent. One like this will do just fine, and then we can also use this to be the fog lights down here. Cool, there we go on that. So now we need a big grill. Something like this, maybe. Something like this could do. Let's get another vent. These will go here, but I think we'll also double those up and put some headlights in there. In fact, I'm thinking something like these headlights in particular. Yeah, I think those will work. How does that look? Not great. Let's try something else. Alright, I think we're verging on Bentley's territory now. But I don't mind it one bit. I've gotta say, I think this looks great. In a really weird way, I think this looks great. Yeah, I do. Yeah! I mean, it needs more work, but the bones of it, I really like. I think there's something here. I definitely gotta say, I think there's something to this. Alright, well, first off, let's go ahead and finish up this bit, because this bit had more to it on the original Fatale. So there's that. This feels like it could use a hood ornament. Yeah, let's see what kind of hood ornaments we got. Okay, that kind of works, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Alright, I think this down here should be turn signals. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that color to that. And then what else is there? What else can I do as far as lights go? Or at least as far as the front goes, I should say. You know, maybe we could do something like that. We already got this design influence down in the fog lights, so kind of do something like this to kind of keep this corner going. Let's see, what if we just did something like this? Is that too much? That'd be too much, huh? I mean, I like how it frames that area a little bit, but at the same time, I think that might be too much. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't think there's really much to do more with headlighting. But there is one grill in here that I want to use, this one. I want to put it right here, spread it across. Perfect. Alright, is there any other thing down here that might work? I mean, besides this, of course. That doesn't really want to go down there either, although that does look really good. Just doing something like this, maybe. There we go. Now that looks pretty good. Now, since this absolute land yacht is a coupe, somehow, won't be needing any more than just the one handle. So let's go ahead and give it some mirrors and maybe a vent or two on the side, and that should be it. Let's try this one. Yeah, that looks like it'll work. And then just the back. Okay, actually wait, we have fuel cap to put on here. No, we'll give it the normal style one because this is a luxury car. And as far as the rims go, these are going to be important. So let's make sure we get this right. Oh wow, that's a bit much. Let's see what we can do with paint. I think those are the rims we're going to go with because they look really good. And you know, the more I look at the front here, I'm almost wondering, would it have been better to put, say, this headlight up here? I mean, now we're really verging on Bentley territory, but it does seem to look better. I mean, that had an interesting look to it, but this way you get this angle here without just seeing the awkward side of it. Okay, where's a good size intercooler? This intercooler's massive. Okay, I think that covers the front. And move on to the back of the car. Alright, so I think again, I'm gonna base the back off the back. And I'm sorry about that because the back of the Fatale was not the prettiest thing. That being said, since this is the luxury version, I'm gonna try and step it up a little bit. Man, maybe I should just redesign the back from the ground up because I am not really sure what to do right now. Can't put this piece of plastic around the bottom here because the whole thing just freaks out and bends. Okay, so the Fatale did kind of that thing. And where is my recessing piece? There it is. We're gonna go ahead and put one of these on here today. Alright, that doesn't look terrible. I mean, this needs to be finessed a little bit better. Not sure what I'm doing now, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Wow, would you look at how weird that is? And we can round this corner off with a nice vent. Okay, so that is the There's just something very uncomfortable about it. Alright, that should cover this weird design. I mean, a lot of the cars that I end up designing look incredibly weird, but partially that's just because I'm trying to really do things that are less than average, you know? I mean, I could just stick a grille and headlights on there and taillights and do the basic requirements, but I'm trying to kind of, you know, push the envelope a little bit. And I like to think I'm succeeding in that. Okay, in that case, that is this weird Fatale Posh luxury sedan. I think the front looks pretty good. The back is unique. I don't think it looks bad, but I don't think it looks phenomenal either. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, I'm thinking all-wheel drive, full-on manual, 7-speed, although it'll probably be a bit more usable with a 4-speed. Open diff, estimated top speed 281, that's high up there. Power distribution 50-50, we'll go with that for now. This thing's gonna need, like, drags. Let's give it semi-slicks. I know that's gonna be met with some reaction. So I just want this thing to be able to make a corner. That's my goal. All right, we're gonna give it active wing and cooling flaps. We're gonna give it just a bit of downforce, although I think I'll come to that. I don't usually mess with this bit, and I'm not even sure how well this actually comes out to beam. But let's go ahead and find out. See, this is a luxury car. We'll give it absolutely everything you can imagine. We'll give it absolutely everything you can imagine. Electric variable, ESC, advanced safety. Alright, active comfort, semi-active, and passive. I am actually surprised that that has any sort of cornering ability at all. Alright, let's see. Ride height, lower. Okay, next up. We have just at 1 right now. That's not bad. I'm wondering if we can get it up a little higher, though. We're on a little bit of the side of oversteer, though, so let's bring this down. That is probably fine, I guess. I mean, this thing is gonna not work all that well anyway. Brake force is low, so let's max these things out. 17-inch brakes. Rear brake force is high. Front brake force is apparently fine. So let's just knock these down to 3 pistons. Okay, I'm having some trouble reading all of this. So the clearance I don't care about. Front tires are narrow, can't fix. Car is wheel spin, yes, I'm imagining. Rear dampers are hard. I mean, I have this thing all the way down, and I can't beat 59%, and that's still 3.5. Alright, I'm just gonna have to go there, I guess. That's 3.5. If we have 50-50, still 3.5. Also, I realize I picked an open diff. That's horrible. Let's go for an electric. Alright, 2.9 seconds. Well, it's got a 3-second 0 to 60, 284 miles an hour. This thing weighs 6,700 pounds. My God. How does it possibly weigh that much? And I'm kind of terrified how it's going to drive. I think it's going to be the same kind of deal. Let's fix this real quick. Rear brake force is high. This car is going to have so many issues. Just so we're clear, I know that there is a ton wrong with this car. I don't know what to do about it. I am just doing the best I can here and hoping that it kind of works. Which I don't think it will. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and export this car, and I will see you guys over in Beam. Alright, so here we are in Beam, and we have both Fatales here to compare. So there's some obvious visual differences between the two, but all in all, I think they have a pretty consistent philosophy. They still have the 2 vents on each side with a split grille section up the middle, and then that kind of chromed bar, and then the 2 separate headlight units. Although this is a bit more Bentley over there than kind of a Japanese style like that is. The backs are almost completely different and horrible in their own unique ways. One thing I was considering though is going back and re-exporting this in a black roof version, because I just think the more I look at it, it feels a bit overwhelming. Anyway, before we go ahead and take the Fatale Posh around the track, I want to get a quick reminder about the Fatale. Okay, it feels just as bad as I remember. You can literally give it nothing. Although I do think the brakes on the new one will be better. They got like, I think the front ones are 5-piston carbon ceramic, and in the back are 4-piston. I don't know what these got, but I can't imagine that the new Fatale is worse. Yeah, this thing, it just shifts and it goes. And yes, I know a lot of you are going to criticize the fact that I'm driving this in automatic right now, but I just don't have this controller set up with any manual controls. I'll have to take a look at that later, but for now, we're just going to deal with this the way it is. I'll see about getting that sorted before the events, but none of the things happening today are going to affect its performance in the actual tournament, so we'll just deal with it the way it is for now. You know, that actually managed itself pretty well around that corner. Although flooring it now feels like a terrible, terrible danger. Now onto the Fatale Posh. So this thing has almost 500 more horsepower than the Fatale. Granted, it weighs just about 4,000 more pounds too. This should feel a lot more weighty and boaty, and probably not quite as terrifying, but let's find out. It's got a good note to it. Ooh. Oh gosh. Let's see. Okay, so far it feels better. Okay, not much. That was bad. It overheated and it stalled. Okay, this might not work the way it was supposed to. It's already dead. I was really hoping that through the export to Beam that compressor wouldn't be an issue, but I feel like it might be. Okay, it might have just been those weird burnouts that we were doing that was causing all the issues, because it seems to be... Oh, wow. Oh, the turbocharger overheated again. But if we go back and just tweak that turbocharger, we might lose a little bit of power, but I think this platform can handle it. Like, this platform can definitely take this power. It actually feels kind of stable. I think it's just the sheer weight of the thing, but it doesn't feel like... It feels like it's going to lose itself a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's going to fly off the track, if you know what I mean. That being said, the turbocharger is terrifying. You cannot floor it, or else it will just overheat. You can see the boost gauge over there. It just... Oh, coolant overheating. Okay, I think we're okay, though. Brakes are really good. So yeah, I think if we just address that turbocharger, this thing could be a beast. Okay, so here we are again. This time I have two different variants of the Posh, the Fatale Posh here. So this one is your standard luxury sedan model. No flair to it, nothing fancy, only putting out a measly 1600 horsepower. And then we have our redone Posh Pish edition featuring a carbon fiber hood ornament, extra carbon fiber pieces because that makes it go faster. And yeah, this one has now over 3,000 horsepower. The interesting thing is that the Posh over here, I think, has a slightly faster 0 to 60, and I'm talking like 0.1 second. The Pish has what did we go with? Like a 14 liter or something like that? This thing is a 10 liter, and nothing on it is reading above light orange, and it's really just the piston doing that. It's about a negative 10% or something. Everything else on it is peachy. So this one overall should be more stable, which is sensible because this is the one that would be sold in production more. But anyway, enough talk. Let's go. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is not the kind of performance you would expect from a luxury sedan. Alright, let's see. We can get a handle on this guy. It's definitely better than the Fatale. Oh my gosh, is it better than the Fatale? Oh my, SLFE, look out. I didn't expect this to actually be a competent car. I expected this to just be as bad as the Fatale, if not worse, just because I have more performance, but, I mean, I guess 4,000 pounds does a lot. And in this case, it makes the car function. So, that being said, this model has about 500 horsepower less than the original Fatale. That's not to say it can't perform, because holy crap can it perform. But it's not in the same wheelhouse. It weighs about 4,000 pounds more, and it has 500 horsepower less. So it's expected that this car would be a much more manageable vehicle, especially with the wheelbase and everything, and much wider tires than the Fatale. So this is expected. What would be interesting to see is if this one, with 900 plus more horsepower, is manageable. So this one's also about 6,000 pounds, but it does have over 3,000 horsepower. So this will be interesting. Let's go. It's off. I thought it broke, but no, it just didn't turn it on. Holy crap. This is the first time, I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say that this is a track monster, as in it's like just glued to the road, because it's definitely not glued to the road. It still wants to do its own thing, and the suspension is uncomfortably bouncy, but it kind of helps absorb a lot of its wandering. It's twitchy, but not as twitchy. Let me put it that way. And it's not nearly as dangerous. And this is with the ESC on, so... Oh, should we take the ESC off? Okay, so total reset, car's peachy clean new, ESC off. Dear God, this is going to be terrifying. So it's not nearly as bad at the wheel spin as the original Fatale. I don't even think I would have been able to make that first slight bend in the Fatale without the ESC. Man, I gotta get used to the cornering. It does oversteer a little bit, but I think that's one of the things, like, if you're just aware of it, you can prepare for it and be fine. But the fact that I mean, it feels like a monster, but the fact that it feels containable, that immediately just puts it leagues ahead of the original Fatale. I think it's fair to say that if the Fatale was the original idea, this was the intended vision. Alright, so here we are at our raceway. Now, I've already done the lap for the standard Posh, and let me just tell you, we're in for it. Anyway, this is probably going to take a couple tries, because this car is absolutely wild. Anyway, let's see how the Fatale Pish does around our track. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh wow, this is gonna be terrifying. I'm almost concerned about my frames more than anything else. Okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so I've kind of just decided to err on the side of caution here, which means coasting whenever I'm not entirely sure that accelerating is a good idea, which is most of the time. Okay, so this thing has a tendency to get to like 100 halfway, and then I just need to slam the brakes. I could have pushed it harder there, but I didn't feel safe. I still don't feel safe. What just happened there? I don't know if that was helpful or harmful. Okay, alright. Alright, floor it through here. Alright, now brake. This has definitely been a problem area. It went a little wide here once or twice. Oh, that was nice. It's much nicer. Alright, and floor it. And stop. Alright, so how did the new era of Fatale luxury coupes do around the track? Well, the standard Posh came in at a time of 1 minute 19.53, putting it over 2 seconds ahead of the SLFE. The Pish now came in 2 seconds faster than the standard Posh at 1 minute 17.52. Now, the SLFE and the new Fatale are very, very closely matched. The Fatale's got so much more power, but unfortunately, there isn't always going to be an opportunity to use it. Secondly, the SLFE handles so much better. And that's not to say the Fatale handles bad. The Fatale handles years better than the original Fatale. I don't think I could have held this position with the original Fatale without spinning out and dying. Whereas this one really doesn't have any trouble with pulling off the longest drift in history. So on something like the Pikes Peak Challenge, especially if it's a downhill event, the SLFE is still going to have every opportunity to beat the Fatale. So this could be a very close and interesting matchup. But anyway, I'm going to end this episode here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the new era of Fatale. Has Roma finally got themselves together? I think maybe. Oh, the turbocharger's finally overheating. We've been at this for like a good minute and a half now. Surprised it didn't happen sooner. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the new Fatale down in the comments, and remember that you can go and download this car on the repository. It might still be pending by the time it is uploaded, but the link will be down there, so in the next day or so, it will be totally available for you guys to go and mess around with. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.